Welcome to another great episode of Create.Learn.Implement, aka CLI podcast with your host Coyetta, where we sit down and talk life and business with your favorite CEO. Today on the podcast, we have the amazing Katherine Brothers, who is a plus size mindset coach. Okay? Plus size mindset coach. It was a very interesting conversation, and you will stay tuned. Okay, stay tuned to hear Katherine on the other side. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions, like how do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. So when I thought about starting a podcast, I had no idea how it worked. I don't know how I came across Anchor, but I did, and it was free, and it was 100% easy to use. And I love to use it to connect to my audience. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Okay, everybody. So today I have the lovely Katherine Brothers, who is a plus size coach. Okay, say hello, Katherine.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm going to have her tell us more about herself in her own words. So go ahead, Katherine. Tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity in your space. But yeah, my name's Katherine. I always tell people you can call me Kat if we're going to be cool, if we're going to vibe together. And yeah, I'm a plus size personal trainer and mindset coach. And yeah, and I started coaching women online probably 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm brand new to the coaching space,
Yeah.
brand new to having a business as well. So yeah, and that's pretty much me.
Awesome. I love that. Well, tell us about a young cat. Tell us about maybe like a 7 to 10-year-old cat. What was she like?
Oh my gosh, she was so bossy, um, a complete clown. I still am. I had, a lot of friends in school, but I really stayed to myself.
Mhm.
I loved Barbies. I loved making up stories about their lives and dressing them up.
Yeah.
And and I had this Barbie house that I would always try to be like an interior designer, and put little sticky tiles in their home and stuff. So yeah, that was basically me. Very loud, goofy, and yeah, I just wanted to laugh and have a good time. I never took anything too seriously, and I still don't. So
Sometimes you got to be easy breezy. Life can be stressful.
you
So I
have
get
to.
that.
Oh my gosh.
So what led you into the coaching space to help women with, exercising and mindset? What led you here?
Yeah, total vanity. I actually moved. I moved away from my childhood home and childhood town probably 12, 13 years ago. And I moved to the Kansas City area to actually go to college for fashion design and merchandising.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anyone. I had no friends up here. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just join the gym. And I was never athletic. I would always get in trouble in school because I would not participate. I just refused to participate in anything athletic. And it
Yeah.
was more of a self-conscious thing because I've always been a bigger person. I've always had a bigger body. So I was like the only big Black girl in the town that I lived in.
Mhm.
So I just was very uncomfortable in my body sometimes. So me being athletic or participating in physical ed class was just not, it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So then fast forward years later, I moved here for college and I started going to the gym. And my only goal was to build a butt. I was like, I want a big butt. I just want a juicy butt. And so I started Googling all these things and it was like, you got to do squats. So I would go to the gym and I would just do squats. And I started going, 30 minutes a day, an hour. And then it just started turning into that's really all I did. I would go to school, go to work, and go to the gym.
Yeah.
And I found that there is a lot of toxicity in the health and fitness culture. And
Mhm.
I've just learned over the years that we can have joyful movement doing whatever we want, whether you want to lift weights or not, whether you want to dance, whether you want to do yoga, Zumba, if you just want to go on a walk. So that led me to coaching other women, especially plus size women. Not that we have to work out because we hate our bodies or want to change or want to lose weight, but I feel like we just don't have a lot of representation of big girls that are in the gym just to move our body just because we want to. So that's what really led me to start coaching other women,
I love that.
especially BIPOC women. So I help all women, but I have, I got a soft spot for my people. So
Girl, I hear you. That's what this is podcast is all about. So
yes.
yeah, I love that. So as a child or even as an adult, what was the first or what were some of the derogatory messages that you heard about your body?
Oh my gosh. Most of it comes from media and doctors as well.
Mhm.
Um, my mom would take me for checkups, and this is something that I do share online and with my clients as well,
Yeah.
or people in general when they try to, um, tell me that health and fitness doesn't have toxicity in this industry, and it does. But my mom would take me to the doctor, and they would say, "Oh, she's overweight. She's gonna have to have knee surgery," and all these things, and that never happened. I'm in my 30s now, and my knees are fine, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
But yeah, just there's so much. I can't think of the word. There's You're just basically told from a young age that living in a bigger body is just not the way that it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
If you live in a bigger body, you're lazy, or you don't have goals for yourself, or you eat all the time, and those things just aren't true. So
Mhm.
I've just kind of always heard from a younger age that my goal as being a bigger person needed to be to lose weight.
Yeah.
And I was ultimately going to be so happy once I was in the smaller body, and that's just not true. So, yeah, I've heard all kinds of things. I tell people as well is like I've tried every diet since I was probably 10. None of them are new. They're all just rebranded, and so yeah, they're not new. And yeah, I've tried so many different things over the years, from childhood and adolescence and adulthood now, and I it just ultimately led me to, um, being happy in the body that I was given. So,
Yeah. No, I understand that. So, based on your experience, what are some subconscious factors that affect how we feel about our bodies? We don't even know those things are happening, but it's affecting us.
subconscious factors. There's so many.
Yeah.
I would say definitely as soon as we wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
sometimes we're already thinking about, obviously we're hungry, thirsty, whatever, and
Yeah.
we're already, regulating what we're going to put in our body.
Yeah.
When we're getting ready for the day, whether we're going to work or whatever we're doing, we're already picking apart our bodies and how they could look different or how we could be different. It's just not heard of that you wake up in the morning and you're just happy with the body that you have
Yeah.
and appreciative of the body that you have, which is really sad. So, but yeah, those are definitely some subconscious things, or even comments that when we see other people, especially in larger bodies, just walking down the street having a beautiful life, we always want to question, what's going on in their life or why they're able to be so happy. And it's
Yeah.
just because we're warranted that. That's our birthright, to just
Mhm.
be happy and worthy people.
I tell you, so much work for us to do.
So much. It's so sad. We can't just live and pay bills and be happy. We have to do the whole thing with our brain and mindset too. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, you said that there are isms in place that lead us to restrictive dieting. And as long as we understand what they are, the isms being racism, ableism, and sexism,
Yeah.
then we can get in a better place. Can you further elaborate on that? Why they impact,
Yeah.
us?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. Um, so what really helped me and helps, because I feel like it's going to be a long time journey. I don't think that we're always learning and
Yeah.
always evolving
Yeah.
with our bodies and our mindsets. But once we start to understand the systems and the isms that are in place, that keep our mindset down and have us feeling self-conscious about our bodies,
Yeah.
it will help you better understand that in this world, everything's just made up. You can literally do whatever you want, but there's just things, everything's made up.
Yeah.
Someone came along when I had a business coach once that was like, you can do whatever you want because hundreds of years ago, a white man gave gave value to a piece of paper, and now we have money, and money controls so many things that we do. And I was like, hell yeah, like I'm gonna start doing whatever I want. So anyway, but yeah, there is, in regards to diet culture, living in a larger body, that does directly correlate to white supremacy, anti-blackness, living in smaller bodies. And once I started to dive into the history of that and where diet culture came from, it helped me better understand that that is not something that I want to be a part of.
Mhm.
And it's not that people can't, if they do want to lose weight or be in a smaller body, it helps to figure out why or what's bringing that on. And you can do it in a healthy way with
Yeah.
registered dietitians and nutritionists, not just random people on the internet telling you to cut out peanut butter and bread and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's just things that are in place that just, regarding ableism and sexism and white supremacy and racism, those are things that don't make me feel very good. And I don't want to be a part of those. I want to be on the other side,
On the
helping
Yeah.
people live their lives.
Perfect. Why should we not diet? What is it about dieting? And what should we be doing right now to help overcome diet culture? Because you
Yeah.
know what? This reminds me of Kim Kardashian recently at the Met
Oh
Gala.
my gosh.
And she starved for what, 10 days or a couple days to fit in? I was like, wow.
It was 16 pounds in like 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, goodness gracious. I think that, and when I do want to clarify, when I say diets or I'm anti-diet, I am anti-restrictive diets.
Right.
I'm anti taking out so many things out of your life that are joyful for you to be quote unquote society's version of healthy.
Right.
And so with that, what I feel like is, if there are ways that you want to change your body or different things that you want to do in your life, do your education and find the right educated people to lead you to that path.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about restrictive dieting. And what people can do right now is educate themselves, follow registered dietitians that don't participate in restrictive dieting, um, or follow people that just really make you feel good on the internet that are living healthy lifestyles that you would like to have as well.
Mhm.
Um, in regards to things directly revolving diet or nutrition and eating and things like that, I that's an experience that I don't delve into because I'm not a registered dietitian.
Yeah.
But just making sure that you're listening to your body. When you're hungry, eat. If you're thirsty, drink some water. If you want to have some juice, have some juice. If you want to have a pop, drink a pop. Just do things in your life that make you happy and feel good, and you fuel and feed your body.
Yeah. Understood. Do you believe that the average person has some underlying issues that manifest themselves through their weight?
Yes. Short answer, yes. Whether that is manifesting in a healthy or unhealthy way would be up to
Right.
them and their lifestyle.
Yeah.
But for sure, I don't want to go around diagnosing people, but when you start to listen to your body and be more aware of how you treat your body, how you talk to yourself, and how your mindset is,
Hmm.
and you start tuning into what other people are saying, you'll pick up on a lot of things that you're like, wow, that's really sad. Wow, okay, yeah, okay, noted. you know,
Yeah.
I feel like most of us have probably went through or had some type of disordered eating or some issue around weight and food, and it's really sad. So
Yeah, it is. It is. Your position is so unique. So you have your own niche, and I love that
thank
as a
you.
plus size coach and mindset coach. You're welcome. So when did you decide that you wanted to take this angle? Like, what do you remember the specific month, day, year?
It's been a progression. I didn't start out as a trainer or strength coach, I guess I should say,
Yeah.
and dealing with mindset. First, it just started out as a couple years ago, I started consistently lifting weights and I enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
then I found that I was finding that once I started listening to my body and I started really being aware of how my body reacted, how my mind reacted, how people around me and the relationships in my life were when I was heavily dieting,
Yeah.
how things just kind of were flipped upside down. And I didn't like that. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just like go off a diet for a little bit.
Mhm.
Because you'll notice sometimes when you are on diets, um, the goal on most diets is to lose weight, and you can lose weight on diets, but once you go off of them, your body will gain that weight back, and
Yeah.
you have to keep up. You're constantly on a diet. You're constantly counting a calorie or a macro or something like that. And I just didn't like that anymore. And I found that my life wasn't very enjoyable. I wasn't um, going to events because if there was food that wasn't in my calorie count or macros, I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to holiday parties. I wouldn't go to dinners with friends. Or if I did go, I was bringing my own food, like
Yeah. Mhm.
or I was eating in my car before, or my friends just make fun of me because I would literally carry Greek yogurt everywhere I went because I was so afraid of being hungry
Yeah.
and not and like being out in public and being hungry and eating something that wasn't on my meal plan. And
Mhm.
my friends would always laugh like, "Oh, there's Catherine again. She's got her Greek yogurt in her purse," and I would literally carry around peanut butter, no joke. And they're like, "Oh, she's doing it for protein, for health." No, that's crazy. Like, who carries around, a 2 pound jar of Jiffy? It's just bad. So,
Right?
I'm like, so I just started unpacking that, and it's been a long time. It's not something that'll happen overnight. I feel like I've been on this journey since I was 10, but really consciously the last 12 years.
Mhm.
And I just one day was like, I just don't like how I feel. I don't feel my version of healthy. My version of healthy is feeding my body, moving my body in ways that I enjoy, and being able to be around the people I love without focusing so heavily on food. And at first I felt really crazy because what is a life without a diet? Like, who am I?
Right?
Who will I be
Yeah.
if I'm not chasing a number on a scale? And so I started doing research and found that there are actually so many dietitians, so many people that are way more educated than me that were on the same page. I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I wonder if other larger body people want to feel the same or are on that path. And so I just started coaching from there. I coach myself every day, but I started coaching myself and
Yeah.
started taking clients from there. So that's really how it happened.
Perfect. Now, for those that don't know, tell us what a restrictive diet is. Like, I mean,
Yeah. Restrictive diet to me is anything that you are cutting out. For an example, you're cutting out specific carbs, or you are cutting out, you don't drink. This might be a personal preference as well, but sometimes it's tied to diet culture.
Yeah.
Drinks, you only drink water. You have to have water. You have nothing else in your house. Or, you decide to go on like a health journey and you completely throw away everything in your house, all the food, and you just start over. Clean eating, quote unquote, it can be a restrictive diet as well. That's what I mean. Just restricting things that you may enjoy eating with the premise of losing fat to be in a smaller body is what I would classify as restrictive dieting.
And what do we need to unlearn when it comes to dieting or eating in your perspective?
Yeah, what we need to unlearn is
Yeah.
that foods are safe, and whether or not something is healthy or unhealthy for you, that's a conversation that you would need to have with a professional.
Mm-hmm.
And also trust yourself as well. If you eat something and it doesn't work for you, then that's okay. That's something that you could take out. An example would be, people always assume that because I'm in a larger body, I don't eat fruits and vegetables, and I do.
Yeah.
That people just think that you sit around and eat fried food all day, and fried foods are fine. Cultural foods are fine if they're fried, stewed, grilled, whatever. But there's just some things that don't work for me, like broccoli and cauliflower give me the worst stomach ache. But
Yeah.
I lived with that for years, because when you're in a bigger body, they tell you to eat fruits and vegetables, and so I was eating things that were literally making me sick. I just
Right.
didn't feel very well when I ate them. So that's something that we need to, unlearn, that like all foods are fine.
Mm-hmm.
Or foods are fine and they all fit, but what fits for you in your life, you're gonna have to, figure that out, trial and error, or seek, professional people that are educated.
Yeah. Is it also a moderation issue as well?
Um, I'm not sure if someone has a type of disordered eating, then it might be a moderation thing.
Yeah.
But I believe in somewhat of moderation, but I don't fully. I don't moderate all the sugars that I have, unless I feel like it might be a health issue, and then I'll go to the doctor for that or something. But I don't moderate as in, counting every sugar that I have, counting every carb that I have on my plate,
Mhm.
or proteins and fats and things like that.
Yeah. And so, with you coaching other women, what's the response been like to your program, to your approach, to, the changes that they're seeing in their body?
It's been really good. We don't do necessarily before and after pictures
Mhm.
or things like that. I've gotten a lot of response to women just saying, I didn't even know something like this would exist. I
Yeah.
didn't know that I could live in the body that I have, and not constantly chase a diet or constantly chase a calorie count, or I could actually eat things that I enjoy and cook the way that I want to without a meal plan or someone telling me to do all of these things. So in the coaching program, it is your mindset around your body, your life, and eating the foods that you want to eat or enjoy. But we don't do anything regarding diets or like calorie counting or macro or anything like that. But yeah, the response has been great. It just feels like when you feel like you're alone and you're not going through something, it's not true, because there's 8 billion people in the world and at least half are probably going through the same thing. So
Right.
it's been really great. And it's been healing for me as well to see so many women come to me, and say, hey, like I really enjoy the things that you're talking about. And, can you help me? And I'm like, heck yeah, I can help you. Come on.
Come on. Is there a situation when a calorie count would be necessary, that you know of or that you've gone through?
um, I think calorie counting may work if you are working with a professional,
Okay.
or macros. I have found that I don't want to say macros are safer, but
Mhm.
it just gives you an understanding of what you may be putting in your body, or what you may need to change. But yeah, I do feel like there might be a time for calorie counting and macros, but that would be a conversation, with a professional.
Yeah.
But there are other ways without macro counting and calorie counting for you to lose fat if that is your goal.
Okay. Okay. And when you say macro, what does that mean for someone who doesn't know what that
Yeah,
is?
that's my macronutrients. So that's your carbs, fats, and your protein.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Kat, in a perfect world, how does society address body issues in your view?
Oh my gosh. In a perfect world, in
In
a
the
perfect
perfect world,
world, who we
do
would give
we
people,
even have body issues in a perfect world?
I mean, I wish we did it. I wish we didn't. I had this conversation probably a week ago with a friend, and she just had an experience at her doctor, and I was telling her ways that, to choose a different doctor, safe things that you can say, or
Mhm.
things that you can say to your doctor to make your appointment more safe and comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And she said that she felt like toxic health and fitness was just a cycle that needed to be broken. I
Mhm.
was like, well, I hate to break it to you, but it's not going anywhere. It's $1 billion business. So,
Yeah.
but what we can do is just make sure that we have the right education for ourselves and to be advocates for ourselves. So, in a perfect world, I wish that we wouldn't have body issues. I wish that being in a larger body wasn't tied to the stigmatisms that it's tied to.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, we would just move our body for joy, and because we're mobile humans, we're meant to move. We're meant to move our bodies. And yeah, in a perfect world, restrictive diets just would not exist. Diets, even the word diet, it just means a way to eat. It was never meant to be restrictive.
Yeah.
It was never meant to be this $1 billion industry that it is with pills and supplements, not all supplements, but most supplements that just don't help.
Mhm.
And yeah, in a perfect world, we just love the bodies that we live in and move them the way that we want to and tell society to kiss our ass.
You heard it here first.
Ah,
So we are to be advocates for ourselves, but how else do we foster a more accepting society if we're starting the process now? Because we know it's going to take some time and it's still taking time, but how do we
yeah,
foster a more accepting society?
it definitely starts with ourselves and making sure that our mindset is basically one of abundance and that we talk, kind to ourselves, because how we treat ourselves sometimes is how we treat other people.
Yeah.
And if it's not very kind, we're just going to go around perpetuating this idea that we need to be different and we need to be in smaller bodies to be happy. So I
Mhm.
feel like it definitely starts with us. Also, if you work with kids or you are a parent, it does start with, the child as well. I have a child, and he's a bigger kiddo. I'm big, his dad's big, so we're just big people. And I definitely start, these conversations at home that we're big people, but we're still worthy. We still have a birthright to go in any space that we feel like it and take up space. And yeah, so it definitely starts with us and kids if you have kids.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that mindset matters for everything.
hmm
I don't think we realize that, it's like the
Oh
key.
my gosh.
Yeah. Speak more on that for me.
Yeah. So it kind of goes back to, when I first started working out to build a bigger butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I had to go back and think, well, why did you ever think there was an issue with your body? Where does that come from? What comes
Yeah.
up for you, when you're moving your body? Because sometimes those workouts that I was doing were just things that people shouldn't probably be doing to their body. It was just, jumping off boxes and, hanging from stuff. And, I was really going in with the mindset that I hated my body because it was bigger and it needed to be smaller to be worthy. So I
Yeah.
was taking a lot out on my body. And it just really all goes back to mindset, how we feel about ourselves, whether it's good or bad, and finding out where that comes from, where those feelings stem from, and how we can change those.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, I know you have your workout songs, but I want you to share with us 5 must-have songs for our workout playlist.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to my Spotify right now and let's see. Workout songs. I will say though, shameless plug, go to Spotify
Mhm.
and I have my workout list. It's called CCAT Do Workout Jams. There's all kinds of stuff on there.
Yeah.
Most of the things I listen to, which I really love all kinds of music, but when I'm working out, it is the grungiest, just inappropriate rap songs. I don't know why that just gets me in the mood.
Yeah, you almost
Let
need
me
that grit,
see.
right? Yeah.
You do, just to like get out some aggression. Let's see what I've been playing a lot of. Top 5. That's such a good question. Let's see. Okay, it's not loading, but I'm gonna say Rick Ross. Pretty much anything by Rick Ross. I love I love Meg the Stallion, obviously. I listen to a lot of Bad Bunny, Lotto, um, Baby Keem. I love Baby Keem. A little bit of Drake. And then also, you didn't ask this, but when I am winding down or stretching, I listen to a lot of indie music.
Okay.
And I try to listen to indie music by Black artists, Indigenous artists,
Yeah.
things like that, just to wind down.
Perfect. I love that. You have a routine. There's like a plan, a method to what you're doing. So
I try
yeah.
because I will be all over the place. So, ah,
This is body issues can often have us feeling a certain way. So what do you draw on when you're feeling um when you need motivation or do you read a scripture? Like what are you into when you need a pick me up?
yeah, I definitely, even as a coach, I have bad body days as well where I just don't feel I just feel blah.
Yeah.
But what I really love doing, honestly, is moving my body, even if it's just, when people say you could just do 5 minutes and change your day, but it's so serious. Like moving your body just releases endorphins, and I get the best ideas after I
Yeah.
have moved my body. So that's what motivates me. But when I don't feel like getting up to move my body to get the motivation
Yeah.
that's on the other side, I do like to watch movement or workout videos from other women that have curvier bodies, larger bodies like myself.
Yeah.
Follow a lot of women like that on Instagram, TikTok, and journaling. I know that's a buzzword, and everyone says, "Oh, I journal every day," and sometimes I definitely try, but I really love journaling
Yeah.
because it just brings me clarity and it gets my words on paper. And if I'm having an off day or I'm not feeling motivated to do anything, I can get them down on paper and kind of figure out with myself what I need to do or what brought on these feelings, um, whether they're from the day before, that morning, or if it was a situation that happened. But yeah, definitely moving my body, journaling, music, putting on something, my Spotify on the TV. That's a huge one. If
Mhm.
people don't do that, please play Spotify on your TV. it just fills the entire, room or apartment wherever you're at with, the music that you like listening to.
I love that. I love that. So for someone that's experiencing body issues, right?
Hmm.
What book would you send them to?
Oh gosh. I'm just gonna say the one that I'm reading right now, which is
Mhm.
Anti-Diet by Christy. She has a podcast that is really good that I think is called Love Food Freedom, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, but Anti-Diet, is really good. Christy Harrison is what her name is.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and that book really helped me realize some of the back to the isms that are in diet culture. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're in a larger body, or a larger body up to what society standards are,
Yeah.
um, which can be different per individual, when you start to understand where these ideas and societal norms come from, it just makes you feel a lot better, so you don't feel, gosh, I'm in a bigger body, I must be a failure because I'm not skinny. No, actually, it just goes back to marketing and money and the health and fitness industry, and making money off of us and things like that. So it just makes you feel a lot better. It makes you feel like there's actually nothing wrong with you. You're actually fine the way you are, and if you decide that you want to make changes for your body, that's something for you to decide, not for society to tell you to change.
All right. You heard it here first. Kat, where can we find you? If we wanted to work with you, if we wanted to, get your playlist, like where are you at?
Yeah, so I am always on Instagram. My name is Seekatdo, Seekatbo, and I'm on there pretty active. If anyone has questions, wants to follow me, my DMs are open. Yeah, that's the best place. And my Spotify playlist is in the link in my bio on my Instagram as well, so you can go there and listen to all my grungy jams for your next workout or cleaning session.
Yeah, cleaning to music is like the thing.
Oh
For
my gosh,
me.
seriously. Yeah, I have my playlist set up right now to clean my bathroom because I hate it. I hate cleaning my bathroom.
Yeah, there's something about music that makes like hard things, exercising, cleaning, just more palatable, more fun, right?
Yes, and I have been reading about what I'm always reading something random,
Yeah.
but what music does to the brain and how it just helps you. They always say that music is important for kids because it just helps them learn better, but
Yeah.
for adults too. It just I can get so much done if I have a good playlist on.
Perfect. I love you're absolutely right. And the combination of music and movement, it's like the ultimate high.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kat, it's been such a pleasure having you on this episode.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. And keep working, keep moving that body. I love what you're doing. I love what you're about.
Thank you so
More
much.
people need things like this, with the messages that we see all over social media, especially. Yeah, we need more of this. So
For
thank you so
sure.
much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you for tuning in to another great episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, as all these things help to keep the podcast alive. Take care. Until next time.